Supposed to be out here catching trout, and look at this shit. Like you can literally just. Oh, it's a dead turtle right there. Another dead turtle over there. Another dead turtle. Another one. What the fuck? Dead turtle. Nah, this is crazy. Another one right there.
Out and got 6 sample bottles, and I sent it off to the lab in the Tri-Cities, and they called me, and I said just email me the results, and they said, well, we're duty bound if it's an immediate health hazard to call you. I said, which sample? And they said, all 6.
Doherty was seeing tests of up to 63 milligrams per liter, over 6 times more than the legal limit of 10. These data centers run water through a pipe system to keep the rows and rows of servers cool. During this process, quite a bit of water evaporates, concentrating the chemicals and toxins that were already in the water to dangerous levels.
And all this water gets dumped on farmland around here.
You would have no idea that this is happening. It has remained hidden from view until now. A modern industrial bottom trawler scours the ocean floor with a chain or metal beam, forcing anything it disturbs into the net behind. It smashes its way across the seabed, destroying nearly everything in its path, often on the hunt for just a single species. Almost everything else is discarded. Over 3/4 of a trawler's catch may be thrown away. It's hard to imagine a more wasteful way to catch fish. An area almost the size of the entire Amazon rainforest is trawled every year. And much of that seabed is ploughed again, over and over. Churning of the sediment unleashes vast amounts of carbon dioxide, which in turn contributes to the warming of our planet. The trawlers tear the seabed with such force that their trails of destruction can be seen from space. Very few places are safe from this.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, giving double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the few sisters that watch. It's coming back with another lesson, as we saw in the intro. Basically, man, Esau Edom is the cancer, of the earth, man. This man has caused so much damage to the earth, to the people, to the atmosphere and everything, man. But yet and still you have people that want to make a place here. And still looking forward to making a place here. Not like they can't see that this place is coming to an end, man. Not speaking of the world, because we know the earth abideth forever. So the earth is not going anywhere. What's going somewhere is the rulership, the kingdom, the people that are set up to rule right now. That's what's going to end. And we can see these people have done a poor job of managing the earth. Matter of fact, let's just get into the scriptures. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 29. And we'll just go to verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And now all you see is people mourning. Nobody's rejoicing, man. Not even the elites. They're not even rejoicing. They're preparing themselves for what's to come. They know that, that kingdom is coming to an end, man. They can see it. But due to prophecy and being controlled by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, they have no choice but to go on with their plans, setting up a one world currency, surveillance everywhere, that's why you see these data centers popping up everywhere, and they're poisoning the earth at a rapid pace, and they hadn't even accomplished what they wanted to accomplish with these data centers. They're constantly going up, but we see the poison that's being put out by these things, man, in the air as well as the water, which will translate to the land. So, the people are mourning, man. Gas is high, food prices are high, people's health, deteriorating. You got all kind of plagues going around. This man is the cancer of the earth. Esau Edom, so-called white man. And if you don't believe it, man, ultimately, you're going to fall victim. You're going to be out of here, man. You're going to be out of here right along with this man, as well as his kingdom, So, hey, man, every day, we're constantly praying to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, to come back, man, and end this thing, man. Set his kingdom up, man, so the people can rejoice. That's the only time we're going to rejoice. Esau Edom was rejoicing, probably from, ever since this country was established up into probably the early 70s, But from then on, man, it's been downhill. And why? And, that's when the truth first came about. This truth by way of the elder Abba Bivens, 1969, around that time, man. So from then on, this kingdom has been on the downhill slope, man. So, it's going down, man. We can't wait. But, it's not a real long lesson, We'll go to, we just going to get the scriptures on Esau Edom, a couple of scriptures, This is the book of Job, chapter 24. Salaki, chapter 9 and verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, And who is the wicked? Let's go. We can go to the book of Malachi, chapter 1, in verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. So what we're seeing is this man, has built up, the desolate places, and he's trying to continue this, by forwarding the plan of these data centers, man. But the Lord is going to throw all this down, man. Basically, we're saying this man's kingdom is done for. So let's go back to the book of Proverbs. We just Salaki Job was just furthering, the proof of who this man is and why things are going the way they're going in the world or on the earth. So it says the earth is, book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Cover the faces of the judges. That was during the the Greek captivity, man. The Renaissance period. He painted all the images. Let's see. Open book. Let's see. Where is it? Salaki. I think it's in First Maccabees. Laid open. Let's see. Book. Wow. Let's see. Salaki for that. Let's see. Yeah. First Maccabees. Salaki for that. All right, this is book of First Maccabees, chapter 3. And verse 48, it says, and laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So, that's going into covering up the faces of the judges, painting all the images white, and, even more so greater, the image of the Lord, man, our Lord Yahweh Shai. You painted him white and change his name. So, this man, is the wicked, man, And for the people that can't see it and want to save this man, you're going to be caught up. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So what we're seeing right now, is a transition taking place. The curses are being put upon Esau, Edom. And Jacob, the Israelites are coming back to their heritage, coming back into the knowledge of the scriptures, there's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's what we're seeing. And it's ultimately going to lead up to the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, But this devil is going to try to implement his mark of the beast. But that plan is going to be foiled, by the master himself, the man who wrote the playbook, the Lord, man, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So that's what we're patiently waiting on, and that's what's going to happen. And, eventually the earth is going to be refreshed, once this 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9 takes place. But how is it going to be refreshed? It's going to be refreshed through the nuclear destruction. Babylon the Great will be no more. It's going to be ultimately destroyed forever. But the earth is going to be replenished, man, back to the way it used to be, by way, with the work, the slavery, the bondage that these heathens will be placed under. They're gonna be working to replenish and refresh the earth. So let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 24, and we'll start from the top. And it's going into the destruction. What's to come? Because this man's world is gonna be judged, and this is it. So this says, "Behold, the Lord Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof." So this is going into the nuclear destruction, and we know after this, the kingdom is going to be set up. It says, "And it shall be as the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him." And this is covering everybody. Nobody was left out. In that verse right there, nobody was left out. Nobody upon the earth is gonna escape the judgment except the elect. But then too, the elect won't be upon the earth. We'll be up in the chariot, Lord willing, on one of those men, rejoicing with our Lord Yahweh Shai, man. But everybody on the earth gonna feel it. And if you're in America, Babylon the Great, you don't stand a chance, man. You're gonna be burned to death. So verse 3, it says, "And the land shall be utterly empty, and utterly spoiled, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken this word." So this is coming directly from the Lord. What's going to take place upon the earth? It says the earth mourneth. And right now the earth is definitely mourning, man. The earth is mourning right now. Under this man's rulership, Esau, Edom. But, once that nuclear destruction takes place, it's really gonna mourn. Matter of fact, let's see. It says, "The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. And the haughty people of the earth do languish." When you go into that word languish, that's a form of mourning. Mourning. Like back to the Proverbs 29:2. The earth is mourning, but it's really gonna mourn, after that destruction. But we're gonna be rejoicing, man. That's what we're waiting on, man. We gotta get out of here, man. Gotta get away from these Edomites and the rest of these heathen, man. And amongst our people, the 2/3, and for brothers that got wives, if you got out of order wives, get rid of them, get away from them. Everything gonna be set back up as it should be, man. So with that being said, we want to constantly give honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash. Shalom.